The guy falls. They think it's a suicide attempt because the guy was an average sleepwalker. The guy was a sleepwalker. Yeah. So Kincaid throws a fit. At the next group, Kincaid throws a temper tantrum. So Sims knocks her out. So Sims has the orders take him to the choir room. It's like psychic confinement. Uh, Neil, who quite frankly I think is Nancy love interest in this whole movie, prescribes hypnosis to the patients. No, I'm not. I like this Neil guy. No, I like this Neil guy. He's collective. He knows how to take care of his patients, and of course, when he backs his patient up 100%. He he's also trying to know Nancy a little better. So anyway, that night, Kincaid's rocking in his little cell. Where Jeff was in the TV room. She's flipping through TVs. TV is she convinces Max to let her stay up tonight because she can't. She says she can't handle the nightmares because of. But now, I always wondered something. If she hadn't died in this scene, what would her dream power be? Now, she might be able to change her appearance. She might be able to like throw something. So anyway, the TV goes out. She walks out. She's just whacking on the side. Instead of going and getting help, she started whacking the side of it. Faye's arms pop out. Grab her by the shoulders, pick her up. This is it, Jennifer. You're a big diamond TV. He gives it awesome one line I've ever heard in my life. He like slams her. Of course, they think it's suicide too. How can you do suicide like that? And what she do? Grab the side of the TV, pulls off, just ram her head right into it. So Neil Gordon is starting. Dr. Gordon is starting to lose answers. So Nancy finally, yeah, after putting two kids in danger, she finally learns. She finally tells the truth to everyone. So that group, yeah, a group, yeah, three groups. They, she finally decides that make sure to tell kids about Freddy. She also tells them about that each of them have their own special skills in the dream world. You might remember in the first movie that Glenn said almost the exact same thing. You know how people like do dream skills, I said dream powers. So they each do match hypnosis with, and of course they so weird clanky ball things. And at first they think it didn't work. Joey's gonna drink a while. He sees a nurse that he has a crush on. He falls over like an idiot. Then we find out they actually are in the dream because the ball starts flying everywhere. Will stands up. He grabs one of the little metal ball things. He like wraps his hands over it and turns into a butterfly. Now I actually thought I actually thought that was a pretty cool power to have. I mean, you're a wizard in the dream world. You can take fate like that. Sorry. We found Kristen also has another power. She could like do gymnastics, which I never thought that was fair. How come Kristen gets to have two powers, whereas only has one? Kid picks up a chair and starts like bending it. Like it's a real irritating noise. Taryn seems like some real weird biker chick with like switchblades. Joey, on your hand, gets sucked in by Freddy, who's posed as a nurse. He's kissing her, which is kind of weird on my end. I think Freddy has a thing for guys. That's what a lot of people say. Freddy has a thing for guys because remember the second movie, my last review, I said how he had the coach just whipping him, but he had the coach butt naked, started whipping him with a towel. Anyway, Joey always like she's like some sort of tongue, so something like wraps around Joey's hands and mess like holds to the bed. That face is the funniest thing ever. What's about Joey? Tongue tied. So apparently they all wake up, but Joey's in a coma. He wake um Nancy and Neil get fired. Then some weird nurse shows up, a nun, same nun who's been popping up in the entire movie. Um, she tells Gordon that about Frey's past, that how his mother was molested by crazy inmates at the asylum in the '60s, in the '40s. How she was locked in there during the holidays, and when they found out she was pregnant with Freddy, the son of 1,000 maniacs, which is actually kind of weird. I mean, how are they gonna do that? I'm not even gonna get into that. Um, Shudder said you gotta let the unholy spirit to rest, whatever the hell that means. Now, Nancy decides to go in, but at first Neil has to tell her they need to know where the remains are. Only one person knows knows who those are. That's a girl. That's Donald Thompson, played by that's very legendary John Saxon, who returns. Apparently, after the I actually looked this up actually. Well, apparently hit rock bottom after the whole thing the first time. So Nancy tries to get him to help her, but he can't blows her. He blows her off. They get called. They get called from the hospital where Taryn tells Gordon that Kristen was put in the quiet room that because she was freaking out. After Nancy left, Gordon grabs Nancy's dad like this, picks her up and like slams him against the wall and yells at him a little bit. And Nancy's able to convince Max to let her see the other kids, and do one last group together. They are. She tells them that it's as dangerous as it gets. Kincaid, Taryn, and Will are all in. So they all go in. They all. Krista falls asleep. She pulls them all in. Of course, the reunion is the last one because Ray slashes his way through the padded room and they all get separated. Um, Krista finds herself at the beginning of the movie where her dad is, her mom, dad, I mean her mom is, and we see him. We see it was a dream mom, of course. We see Freddy come in and just like slice the chick's head off. He takes the Krista who flips right over him with a little gymnastics when she jumped through a window. This whole time she's still screaming for Nancy. And then we see Taryn. She's in some sort of alley or something. She's looking around, she's just familiar, then she turns around and see Freddy and Taryn on very hard on the wall. Freddy's there, so Taryn whips out her little pocket knife, switchblade. She starts fighting him, which she actually does pretty good. Until Freddy turns his hands like syringes for hair and sticks him around her arm. You can see the veins and stuff coming out of her arm up to her brain. She got overdosed of heroin. Which was actually kind of funny, if I might add. Not for those who are addicted to heroin, but was actually kind of funny. I mean, the Jack's worst fear is drugs. That's a good message for kids. Never use drugs, or some psycho person's gonna come in your dreams and use them to kill you. Will, on the other hand, doesn't just point blank. Will's in some sort of tunnel. Freddy has some sort of mechanical wheelchair coming at him. It runs him over his leg. He pops up. He blasts him with his powers, and then he proceeds to do the dumbest thing in the history of horror movies. He blasts Freddy. Instead of running away, he runs at him. Like, what's he gonna do? He's gonna, I'm gonna get you. Then Freddy grabs him by the collar, picks him up, and just stabs him. Point blank, just stabs the poor kid. Once again, we see point blank, like that, and then once again we see Chris.